Hey everyone, it's Joe. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm excited to share that I am part of Junk Journal July, which is a month-long challenge hosted by my friend Meg of Meg Journals. Today is day 29 and it is my day, and the prompt that I chose is playlist because I wanted to journal about, my top songs for the month because I use this little tool. I'll talk about it later in more detail, but it's this app called Receiptify, and it compiles your top 10 most listened to songs for the month, and it makes this little cool receipt that you can use to create like a little journal spread using that little receipt. So we are kind of using something that would normally look like junk, like a receipt, and use it in a junk journal. Just to preface this, I'm actually using a lot of recycled materials for this journal spread just because I'm not using a conventional junk journal right now. I'm just using an A5 notebook. So I still wanted to incorporate some of the junk journal philosophy into this video, but just a disclaimer, I'm not using an actual physical junk journal right now, but I am using junk journal, techniques and stuff. So I'm gonna let voiceover or past Job talk about a little bit of the recycling process in terms of what I'm using for this journal spread. Okay, so this is my recycling bin that's underneath my like journaling table. There shouldn't be any paper towel here, but yeah, I'm just gonna look through this and let's use this envelope. Find some paper, like actual stuff I can use in my junk journal with me. So let's do that. Oh, this craft might be nice actually. I already have. That blue envelope was really nice actually. Let's just take one of these crafts. Let's use a takeout. This NW takeout as well. And it's for my type of garden. I like that color. And it's a tearaway calendar sheet. And this gorilla? Okay. You've probably heard the term shop your stash, but today we are shopping our recycling bin. I think this is actually pretty awesome and in line with the values of junk journaling because I believe junk journaling started as a way to kind of use unfavorable things like junk mail and giving it a new life in a journal. So we are taking that philosophy and just using some scrap pieces of recycled paper and using it in my journal. I don't think I end up using all of these pieces of paper, but I end up using the light, like turquoisey blue, and then the craft paper because we all know I love craft paper around here, and then that cool pattern paper that I tore up. But for today's spread, we are going full on Y2K in terms of the aesthetic. I really love the whole like iPod Classic, Y2K aesthetic that's going on in like fashion and whatnot right now, and I felt really inspired. So I actually printed out a picture of the iPod Classic and cut out the center, and I actually made 5 different now playing screens for the iPod Classic, which refers back to my Receiptify playlist that features my top 5 most listened to songs. So this is for the month of June, so these songs are a little bit older already, but those were the songs that I was listening to. And then I have to reference New Jeans because they were the biggest inspiration for this, because I am the biggest New Jeans fan and their whole aesthetic is Y2K, and I thought I should attempt that for this journal spread. And then for the Receiptify playlist, this is what it actually looks like all printed out. So it tells you the month, and then it goes down kind of like your order. If you ordered food at a restaurant, your number 1 is actually your number 1 most played song. So it was popular, I think, from like the Idol. It's by The Weeknd. I don't usually listen to The Weeknd that much, but I actually really thought that song was very catchy, and that was my top played song in June. So I printed that out, and then for the top 5 songs from that playlist, I ended up taking a little screen grab of it on the iPod Classic, and then I printed it out. So that's what we are doing today. So to create that iPod that has interchangeable screens, we need to create this little plastic sleeve for the little screen grabs to go into. I should probably mention that I created the little screens of the iPod using Photoshop, and I just took references from my actual iPod, and I also looked at the internet, but I had to put my own like album covers since there's no way to like screenshot an iPod classic unlike our iPhones or computers these days. So that was one part that happened obviously before filming and actually journaling right now. But right now we are creating the plastic sleeve, and I'm using this really cool tool. It's called the Fuse tool from We Are Memory Keepers. I don't think this is actually meant to well, I guess you can use it for multiple purposes, but I think this is actually like a project life aligned crafting tool. It basically melts like those clear plastic sheets so you can create dividers with like a basic sheet. But I am using this with page protector folders. I actually don't have those like film or like photo cover sheets that people use for Project Life, so I thought I would just use whatever I had, and I had this huge like multi-pack of these plastic sleeves, and the Fuse tool still worked. I had to go over it a few times, and I think I did press a little too hard because it kind of burned on the top like left hand corner, but that's all right. And we are creating just like one seam, since I used the corner of this plastic folder sheet. And we need one end to be open so we can slide the little like screen grabs. I don't know what to call it. We'll just call them like the screen interface, so we can slide it in. So I just created a little like window, and we're gonna actually use that as a way to slip in the different screen interfaces. And we're gonna use tape. I'm using a tape runner just because, again, I'm not the biggest fan of glue. It just gets sticky. But I'm using a tape runner. This is the dot liner in the largest size, and I really recommend this because it takes me a really long time to complete one whole refill of this. So you're not spending too much money on glue and tape. Again, I'm taping this on, and I'm just making sure that it's super flush to the sides of the iPod that we printed. I always want to say iPad because that's more of something that we use in our like day-to-day, I guess, language now, because I mean, I still have an iPod Classic and I use it when I travel, but I don't actually like gravitate towards it because I have my phone. But it's nice to use tech like this. And here's the first screen interface going in, and it looks so good. This is the one from the song Popular, but obviously there's I made 4 other ones for the top 5 songs in my June most listened to playlist, and it sucks that this is a little bit out of focus, but I was just showing you that it fits. And then now we just have to glue this whole thing down onto a journal spread, and so I'm using this tape runner, and it actually still works on the clear plastic folder. I'm happy that I ended up using that clear plastic folder because I can use it for future projects like this. I realized I wasn't filming, but I just put some collaging down. I put some of the craft paper from the A&W takeaway bag, and then that turquoise paper as a background, and then I put the iPod down, and then I put the first interface in, screen interface, and then I put a little pull tab just so it's easier to take in and out, just for this one. Just because I wanted it to be easy to take in and out, and it's pretty I mean, it's still visible, but it matches the blue from the envelope that we used, so it's all like cohesive still. And then I used some blue dot markers, blue dots to tie in the blue in the spread. At this point, I knew that I wanted to display the other screen interfaces that I made for the iPod, and I had obviously a bunch of this clear plastic left, and I didn't want it to go to waste with just using that one corner because it's pretty much not usable as a protective folder now, so I have to use this for future craft projects. But I made a few more pockets, so this is the first one that I'm making, and it's the same procedure. I actually used one of the edges that has already been sealed, and then I just went in with my Fuse tool to create 2 new edges. And this is basically similar to the first envelope that we made, but it's just half the size. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to cover the whole like screen printout. So I just made it a little bit smaller so it's easier to take in and out. And then I thought about just keeping like one, but you're gonna see me make another one later. I actually made two just because having 4 sheets of cardstock stacked together made it really thick, and I actually used super thick cardstock to print out the screen interface and the iPod. So you'll see me in a little bit create another little clear pocket for that. And then now I've been hoarding these stickers for so long. I basically bought a whole bunch of these ribbon stickers from Daiso. If you don't have Daiso, it's just a $2 store. And they sell stationery. This is all from Japan, and it's a really like nice and affordable store if you need to buy stationery, especially Japanese stationery. I've really been into like the ribbon stickers because of like K-pop journaling, and that's why I went with this vibe. There's a lot of K-pop in my top 10 songs for June, so I thought it would be fitting to include some of that K-pop journaling in there. And then again, here I am using the fuse tool again, and I'm going with multiple passes since this is a little bit thicker of a plastic material compared to like that Project Life. I don't know what it's called, like photo sheets. It's kind of like the things that you used to put Pokemon cards and Digimon cards in. I forget what it's called. Yeah, is it like a card protector? But it's just for in Project Life you would protect photos, I guess, or journaling cards. I don't know why we're talking about Project Life so much. But yeah, here I am just copying the first one that I made, and actually made 2 more, but I realized I only needed 2, so I have an extra one that I'm going to use in like a journal for another spread in the future. But it's nice that I have these pre-made, and I can't wait to make like more things using this, because I bought this fuse tool a while back and haven't really been using it, but it can come in so handy in so many different fun art projects related to journaling. Like I can really see myself making like a shaker card and putting like glitter and other things inside, and like putting that into a journal spread, kind of like not really a shadow box, but like encapsulating, you know, flat items in there to kind of preserve it and make it look like a display. And here's a little bit of a fail. I went in with my favorite brush markers. These are not by Tombow, these are actually Pentel, and I ended up scripting July, but I meant to script June since this was my June top 10 playlist, and I regret that. So luckily we have junk paper or scrap paper. This is the craft paper that we used earlier, and I am gonna stamp using, I guess I'm hydrating right now. Fun fact, I guess this is a little bit of like random information, but I watched the Barbie movie beforehand, and we were a little bit late, and I ended up buying popcorn and a drink after the movie because we were craving it so bad, but we didn't have time because we were late for the movie already. Luckily we got there like in time, like the movie was just like playing, like the little previews just started, so it was all good. But that's what I was drinking, some leftover movie drink. Yeah, and I don't think I was eating any popcorn. But while I was rambling, I actually just put down again the scrap paper, and then this is some cool squiggly pattern from, I think it's a Vista print order that I made, and the design on it had this really cool tablecloth, and I just tore that postcard up to make it look like it was just a full pattern paper. I actually got a little bit bummed because you'll see it in a little bit. I actually end up covering a bunch of this paper up, and I wish I didn't because I really like the colors in here. The red, the pink, the yellow really goes with the blue. And I kind of made a mistake because I didn't use any more of that like reddish or red orange tone in this journal spread. So it looks a little bit like out of place, but it's okay. It adds to like the junk journal feel, I guess. And then here I am using the tape runner to adhere these little clear pockets that I made for the other iPod screen interfaces, and I really like how this turned out. Again, I am going into my stash of stickers because if you didn't know, I have been on a stationary no spend, and so I've been hoarding a lot of stickers for a while, and I decided deliberately not to open them when I purchased them a long time ago, just because I knew that I was going to be in this no spend, and it'd be nice to kind of have stationery that feels new. So it was nice to finally open this sticker sheet from Daiso. This is all kind of Y2K themed if you saw the sticker sheet, and this one was like a blue themed one, which matches the kind of blue theme that's going on in here. And then I'm going in with the ribbon stickers, and luckily these stickers are actually opaque, so you can actually put this into onto like the clear plastic sheet and it still is opaque. I don't know why that, actually no, of course, no, if it was translucent you would see what's underneath, so that does make sense. And then I was actually surprised that it stuck to that clear plastic material. And then there was a little cameo of the top of my face. And then we're going in with a Tombow marker just to do some bubble lettering for June. I thought I would do bubble letters because it felt, you know, again, fitting to our theme of like Y2K, early 2000s, 2010s, and the iPod Classic. And then I just did a little blurb that I think it just says like my top songs of July or something. And I'm using, again, my favorite pen of all time, the Pentel... Oh, wait, what is it called? It's the it's the Unijet Stream More Black. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot my favorite pen. And then again, in the spirit of junk journaling, we're using some scrap paper, and we are covering that mistake earlier, and I'm just stamping the word June using these really old letter stamps that I got from Korea. I think they were 3,000 won when I bought them, so like $3. And the K is backwards, and so I have to stamp it upside down for it to work, but you know, still one of my favorite letter stamp sets that I have. And again, I'm tearing this to add that organic feel to it. I think I'm going to tear it again actually because it is a little bit big and I didn't want to cover all of the stickers there, and I think I ended up straightening out the edges on the right and left side. And yeah, I think this is good to go. No, we're making it a little bit smaller, but I think this is a good time to say that if you want to do something like this, I really recommend using Receiptify. Obviously, this is not sponsored, but I've really been using this as a way to journal about my music listening habits. I know a lot of people keep a media journal and journal about their favorite shows and movies, but for me, music is a big part of my life, and I love listening to music and discovering new music. And so using Receiptify is a fun way to like find out about, you know, trends of songs that I've been liking and listening to. And it's just a nice fun way to document, you know, your month, because you might be, you know, capturing your month through like monthly entries or photo dumps, but it's nice to also, you know, document the music that you've been listening to. And again, this is free and obviously not sponsored. I just really love using Receiptify. I discovered it last year and I've been using it ever since to document my monthly music listening habits. I did some stamping with a clear stamp. It's just a star shape, and yeah, it turned out really fun and whimsical. And here is the final product. It's so cool, you know, swapping out the different songs on this iPod. I love how this turned out, and I hope if you do try something like this, please be sure to, you know, tag me on social media. I love to see it. And again, be sure to check out Junk Journal July. I'll leave all the links down below, but again, be sure to check out Meg's channel and Instagram, because there is so much information about Junk Journal July, and there are so many awesome other creators that have created YouTube videos for each of the days of July. So I hope you check them out. If you've missed, you know, a little bit of July and you need some content to watch, be sure to watch all the other amazing creators and artists. And I will see you in the next one. Again, if you try this, I'd love to know. And if you use Receiptify, please let me know, because I'm always down to hear some of your favorite music recommendations in the comments below. Okay, love you guys. Bye-bye.